Hi guys, welcome back to my channel. Today I'm going to answer some of the most interesting questions you ask me on Instagram. I already made a video like this before, where I replied to some questions like how long I've been playing guitar, why I started, and things like that. In this one you'll still find music related questions, of course, but they are going to be a little more specific. I also talk about curiosities and some of my other passions. If you are new here, I'm Eleonora Moriarty. Moriarty Dao on social media. I'm a death and thrash metal guitarist. I usually post short cover videos, but I'm back on YouTube with longer content like gear talks, vlogs, behind the scenes and much more. If you could have a signature guitar, what would it be? Beautiful question. So a few days ago, ESP's Instagram page posted this guitar. The finish is absolutely insane. I'm obsessed with it. Green with drips and splashes, which really reminds me of Pollock's dripping technique that I always love. I'd like to have it with that exact shade of green and also painted on the back. For the bridge pickup, I'd go for something like EMG HZ, but with a slightly cleaner tone. For the neck pickup, I don't know, maybe I wouldn't even put one since I barely used it. I definitely add a Black Fried Rose 1500 and Goto locking tuners, cause they are extremely comfortable. The guitar would be V-shaped, or at least something unusual, made of alder with ebony fretboard. The neck has to be like the one on the greenies, because it's the faster and most comfortable among all my guitars. What was your first guitar? Which guitar would you recommend for beginners? My first guitar was a blue Ibanez Gio, bought on Thomann. Honestly, I recommend it for beginners because Ibanez necks are some of the most comfortable, especially when you're just getting used to the instrument. I also suggest these two alternatives because they are solid and you might like them even more. My first amp was a Fender Mustang, which I still have and totally recommend. The Mustang not only has a great quality-price ratio, but it also has a built-in audio interface, which is amazing. I recorded the tracks for my very first video that way, and the quality isn't bad at all. Do you play video games? If so, what are your favorites? Yes, I've always played video games, especially when I was younger. My parents gave me a PSP, which I still have. It's in perfect condition because I took such a good care of it. My first game I played was Crash Team Racing. In the past few years though, I discovered Hogwarts Legacy, which has become my absolutely favorite game in the world. I think I finished it 3 times already. It's a masterpiece, just so well made. I'm a huge Harry Potter fan, so if you are too, I totally recommend it. I played it on PS4 first and then on PS5. Your favorite Alexis signature is? Mine, the Greenie. It's one of the most beautiful ones, especially the LTD I own, which has the green e-nails on the fretboard. That detail has always driven me crazy. But I have to say, I also love the Pinky, specifically this one. By the way, I've seen that the Pinky Edwards is actually pretty easy to find and it's still available on Thomann. Can you make a video in Italian? Why don't you speak Italian in your videos? I like your accent. For those who don't know, I'm Italian. I was born in Italy. I don't speak Italian in my videos because most of you wouldn't understand me. Many of you live in the States, others in Brazil, Chile, etc. So I speak English to be understandable to as many people as possible. When we hit 50k subscribers, I'll make a full video in Italian and we'll make a coffee together. Anyway, if I only have 15 minutes to play guitar daily, what should I focus on? The most useful thing you can do is practice with a metronome. That doesn't mean boring exercises. You can take a part of song you like and apply a specific technique to it. That's the best. For example, right now I'm working on alternate picking because I want to use it more. It saves a lot of time and makes everything cleaner. I applied alternate picking to a part of Voice of the Soul and I often practice it with a metronome. So yes, that's the most effective thing you can do if you have little time. Timing and coordination are some of the hardest aspects of guitar practice. What was the biggest struggle in guitar learning? For me, speeding up songs and gaining speed in general. It's something I've always found difficult and it still gives me trouble. In those cases, I use the metronome or I practice on tabs where I can slow down the tempo and gradually build up to the final speed. There were a lot of questions like Death or Children of Bottom. I can't pick one over the other. With Death I have a true emotional bond, cause their songs are what made me fall in love with guitar in first place, and they really improved my technique. They are the band I love the most, both to listen to and to play. Children of Bottom came later, it was more gradual, but today their songs are the ones that glue me to instrument, they drive me crazy, and they are the most rewarding to finally master. If I had to answer on impulse, I probably say Death, but honestly I can choose, I have to say both. Tell us something we don't know about you. I was a pianist, actually I still am. Before playing guitar, I studied piano for about 3 years. I always loved classical music and I even studied at university. Learning piano was super useful. It got me used to a metronome, helped me with reading sheet music, visualizing scales. It definitely gave me a foundation to start from. By the way, the composed and calm vibe on my videos comes from piano training. What amp sim do you recommend for recordings? Which pedal do you use? How to get your tone? I don't use amp sims and I don't use pedals. I use a real amp, a tube head. I'll make a dedicated video. For now, I can tell you I use an Engel Iron Ball E606 Special Edition, which is a 20 watt tube head with DI and IR loader included. I use only this. The sound you heard in my video is a pure amp tone, no pedals. After recording, I just EQ the track in Cubase a little bit, and that's the only extra. But like I said, I'll make a specific video about this, where I'll explain how this amp works and how to get my tone. If you're interested, on Patreon I always post the settings of my amp with pictures of the exact knob position for every cover I make. If you could perform any Death song with Chuck, which one would you pick? Another great question. Probably Without Judgment or Crystal Mountain, which are my 2 favorites, but I wouldn't rule out Voice of the Soul either. That's it for today. These were the most interesting questions, and there were also tons of compliments. I'm really grateful to all of you. Don't forget to subscribe to the channel so you don't miss next videos. See you next time. Bye!